Everyone, and we look forward to baking and making drinks with you. Thank you for joining us for our last session for the year, bringing our home kitchens into yours. So we invite you to cook along with us or just learn from us, and happy baking and happy drink making.
Kathryn, we have everything ready for you.
I'm so excited.
Slowly, so our drops can look like your drops.
Ooh, I think Suzette might start. Ms. Julien, Dr. Julien, would you like to start?
I can.
Oh, and Dr. Julien, you too. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so guys, welcome to my little kitchen here that I'm about to just make some gingerbread. But there's a story behind this gingerbread. I mean, ginger beer. I didn't know how to make ginger beer, so my adopted neighbor, and who became my adopted mom, sort of showed me how to do this because I didn't know how to do anything. You know, I grew up on probably eggnog and sorrel when you came to Trinidad, but generally ginger beer was not something that I made. But I learned to love ginger beer based on my neighbor just, you know, giving me some little tips on it. So here we go. So the recipe calls actually for a half pound of ginger. And basically you can get this, I guess, in Massey stores or anywhere, you know, different shops to purchase this. And so the old fashioned way of really doing ginger beer, first I gotta wash my hands. Of course you wash your hands and everything. Quickly, I had washed my hands before. So, and the trick to this whole thing with the ginger beer is really trying to basically peel this, and I just use just like a potato peeler to peel it. And so I peel the ginger beer as much as I can, getting off all that skin. And so we keep peeling it and peeling it and peeling it. And so you get a lot of this skin off as much as you can. And once you've done that, you can, of course, I've already rinsed them. So that's one of the things that you have to make sure you do, because sometimes there's a lot of little dirt on the ginger, particularly if you pick it up from the market, which I went to the market to get these, this ginger that I bought. And so basically I make sure that I take off all the ginger on the skin. And so just to show you a bit, and then you begin to, you try to chop the ginger as small as you can, because when you put it into your blender, you don't want your blades to really get, you know, the ginger will get stuck one, and then the blades, you keep doing that. Meanwhile, you're doing this, you put some boiling water on, 4 cups of boiling water, and you make sure that water is really good, nice and hot, boiled. And that's 4 cups that you use. And I chop these as much as I can and as small as I can. Now, years ago, people would say, no, that's not how you make ginger. You have to grate the ginger. Well, this will take me forever to drink. Not to mention that I would certainly be bruising my fingers on this. So yes, you can do it this way. It takes a little longer to be able to do that. But nowadays, you know, everything's a quick fix. So what do? You basically chop the ginger like I have been, because it'll take you a long time. But a lot of people like to grate their ginger. This way, it really allows me to cut it up small. And I keep cutting up all the little pieces that I have here. And pretty much this is what, it's fairly easy to do. Cut it up. And I actually chopped up most of the ginger before we began, so that you're just not waiting for me to do something. So I chopped it pretty much. Sorry for that noise. And And so what I have here is not grated ginger, but lots of chopped ginger. So you take that ginger once you've chopped it now, and so you put it in. I use a blender. I'm old-fashioned. If you have a food processor, you can put that in. So I take all this ginger. I don't put all of it all at once because it's going to, you don't want it the blender to really. And I have the hot water here, which is, I'm going to start with just 2 cups. I'm going to start with 2 cups of boiling water. And so I just add my 2 cups. And I have a little bit more ginger in there. And you have to be careful when you go and you actually, I'm going to move it over a bit. You'll hear you'll see me just blending it a bit, but you've got to be careful because that boiling water sometimes. So I just, yeah, if I plug it in, it would help, right? Hold on. I do that for about maybe just some seconds, and then I add more ginger in there, and then I continue to do that. And so I just keep pouring that in there, adding as much ginger as I can until all the ½ pound of ginger that we were making that's in here. And so we really blend it as much as you can. And so I'll add my other 2 cups right now. I mean, it's really simple to make. The end result is really, really great. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Now this is boiling water you're getting this, so you have to be careful that it doesn't fly up totally on you. And I'm just gonna add, and I'm just gonna do it really, I'm just gonna lightly touch my blender. I mean, it's the easiest drink actually to be made. And so now that I have, this is what you would end up with. So here's what you have to do now. I am going to add in the ginger right here, I am going to add 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. See that? 1 teaspoon of that. And I'm just gonna drop it in there. I used a lime, 1 lime. And so I'm just gonna add that lime juice right in there like that. I'm gonna take a wooden spoon. I'm gonna take a wooden spoon and I'm just gonna stir it a bit. Really, really easy. Now, it actually calls for a stick of spice. Okay, I'm gonna drop that in there. Some people like clove, and so you just drop just a couple. I just like about 3 or 4 of them in there. And when you're serving it, you can actually add more of the clove. Another thing that I love, it's actually nutmeg. And I just put a little bit of nutmeg onto that. And I mix it again. So once you've done that, you actually let it cool off You let the, it cool off a little bit. And then what you do, once it's cooled off a little bit, you put it into a bottle like this. So if you have any type of glass, and it's best to have a glass container or glass bottle, and you pour the ginger into there. Now, I pour that in, and so I put it into the sun, and I put it into the sun for about maybe a day and a half. I take it out and I bring it back in, and then I put it in the fridge, and I take it back out again, and I put it out in the sun. And I think the sun has some really helps it sort of cure. And once it's cured, you then strain it with a strainer after 2 days. Now, we're going to not do that here today. You strain it, you put it in the bottle, like I said, and then you bring it back into your house, and then you put it in the refrigerator, take it back out again for about those 2 days, or if you want, just do it for a day and a half. And it calls for about 2 cups of sugar when you're really ready to sweeten it and add, bitters, and you can add club soda and those things when you're ready to serve it. But for me, some people, I don't usually put alcohol, but a lot of people say, look, if you don't want it to ferment too quickly, you can add just a little bit of rum into it, and it sort of keeps it really, really, really pretty good. And then there you can just pour them out into smaller bottles, and you have your ginger. So I'm going to just show you really quickly. I've got just a little bit of ice in here, and this is actually what your ginger looks like. But you can add your, as I said, you can add your sugar. I don't usually put a lot of sugar in that. So now you can add your soda water. I do have some clove in there as well. Add a little bit, and it gives it a really nice fizz. And then I add a little bit of Angostura bitters, and I put a little bit of that in there. And pretty much, as you can see, I didn't put the sugar in there, but here do I have my little ginger. And so I can taste it. And it's pretty good. So cheers. Here's your ginger beer. And it's fairly easy. I will now take this and pour it into here without, straining it when it's the time. I mean, the glass is pretty good. And you want to make sure all that ginger gets, because it's going to go to the bottom of it. Is it cooled off a little bit? Pretty cool, and you can get all the ginger. This ginger you can actually use later on. Instead of throwing it away, you can actually use it in your cooking. Ginger is so good for you. Good for your stomach, for your digestion. It's excellent. So once you've done that, ginger is ready. I'm not going to cover it because I think it needs to cool off a little bit. It's now ready to go into the sun. And there you have your ginger. And here's your ginger. Thank you. Very easy. Quick, easy, and excellent for the home for the holidays. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Suzette. Thank you so much. That was lovely.
Thank you.
It's like something we'd all want to try.
Yes, it's so easy and fun.
Never had it, but this might be the year to try it.
I tried it. I was taught by a little, very good, woman that just knows how to do so many different things in cooking. And so she taught me how to do that.
Okay, well, if y'all are ready for me, I have my festive and fruity coconut drops. Not traditionally a Christmas dish, but it's the colors of it are very festive looking, and it's easy and delicious, and it makes for great gifts. You can put them in a plate, in a basket, and just give them out. And they seem to be quite popular. So it's mixed by hand or with a spoon. It's very easy. It's like a one bowl thing. And the first thing I want you to do is, if you're baking along, just preheat your oven to 350. If your oven is really fast, you can put it at 325. This is not a cake, so it doesn't have to be so precise as a cake is. So if you prefer it fruitier, if you prefer them more coconutty, if you prefer them with less fruit and more batter, more cookie, more cookie-like, that's fine. So it's really up to you. There's no right or wrong. I like mine pretty coconutty and with lots of fruit. Okay, so in the recipe, I said that you can use frozen grated coconut and you can thaw it. So this is the one that I use. Either this, it comes in a 1 pound bag, or Morris's frozen grated coconut. You can also grate your own fresh coconut, but sometimes it's just quick and easy to do it this way. So I put the coconut out in clumps there into my bowl. And what I'm going to do now is just break that up with a spoon. So it's thawed out now, but still cold. I don't really leave it out of the fridge for too long because coconut is something that can tend to go a little off if you leave it out of the fridge. Okay, so the coconut is there. It's just nice and finely grated. And there's no real order in which to add the ingredients, but I tend to add the dry ingredients first. So these are the glazed fruits that I use in the baking section. This is a big bag. This came from Price Mart. It comes in a smaller bag at Maxi. So again, you can use as much or as little as you want. I use 1.5 pounds. So this is it here. And I'm gonna throw that in to the bowl. The coconut. As well as a cup of raisins. You can use more raisins if you like. So what we can do is when we mix it all together, we can just see how it looks and we can add to suit. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix that in a little bit.
Kathryn, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I was just hearing a lot of noise in the background, so I'm asking my son to just slide the door in. Okay, so there we go. And here is now the coconut, the raisins, and the glazed fruit. Already looks yummy and smells good too. Okay, and there's a cup of granulated sugar. Mix that in. One egg, and I like to put the teaspoon of vanilla essence in with the egg. You don't really need to beat it up. As I said, it's not a cake. It doesn't require much. You can do anything and they're still going to turn out good. 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Let's toss that up all together. All these ingredients are mixed in nicely. You're going to put in your flour. So this bowl, I've put in my 3 tablespoons of baking powder into my flour. You can also put about a teaspoon of cinnamon into the flour, mix it in together. And what really brings out a really nice flavor here is a little bit of nutmeg. So just gonna grate some nutmeg into the flour. Not too much because it has a pretty strong flavor. Right, so that should do it. So this is flour, baking powder, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So in that goes and just try and incorporate the flour into the other ingredients. When you first start to mix it, it seems a bit dry, but with the egg and the butter, and of course, coconut is an oily thing. So the more you mix it, the more it's gonna hold together. So it may seem a little dry at first, and that's fine. I like to mix it in with the spoon. And then after a while, I use my hands just to squeeze it, to knead it a bit, so that it's not too crumbly. Okay? Jenna, how are you going?
Yeah.
How is
So
yours?
this is mine, right? Hold on, let me just. Yeah, mine is crumbly, Miss Kathryn.
It is crumbly.
I'm gonna keep.
No.
On mute. Hold
It's
on.
crumbly.
All right. Yeah, that's how mine is looking.
Rosie, how is yours looking?
That's okay to be looking like that.
Yes, keep mixing.
All right.
Rosie. Rosie, how's yours going? Can't hear you, Rosie.
I'm trying to switch this camera around.
Right, so that is pretty crumbly. So keep mixing.
Alrighty.
And when the dry ingredients are pretty much mixed in, you can stick your hands in it and start to squeeze it together. Okay? So I'm gonna angle my camera down. I think I've mixed enough with this spoon. So it's still a bit crumbly. So there we go. I'm going to squeeze. Okay, and you're kneading it a bit. And you'll find that it gets stickier as you go along. And the oil from the coconut is gonna release. And it's gonna be a nice, somewhat sticky dough. Everybody on, those who are baking along, is this happening to you?
Yeah, Kathryn, it was only one egg, right?
One egg.
And the cinnamon, how much cinnamon was it?
You, again, to taste, I put a teaspoon and a few grates of nutmeg.
I did all that. Okay, good. No, just checking.
Did you put your 2 tablespoons of butter?
I sure did, melted, yep.
Right, so right now, it should be holding together. This is what mine looks like. Yeah?
Is it a difference if you use fresh coconut? Because mine's still crumbly.
Yours is not coming together?
No.
Mom, yeah. I mean,
Keep going, Rosie. And what you can do, if you find it's too dry, for whatever reason, you can add like a tablespoon of milk. Mine doesn't need milk because it feels perfect and it's sticking to your hands, which is, sorry if it looks gross, but it's supposed to look like this at this stage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So mine are ready to scoop out and go into the oven. Anybody else ready?
Yep.
Right, so I'm just gonna wash my hands. My oven is ready. It's on 350. And I have my cookie sheet ungreased. You don't need to grease it because the coconut is oily enough and they're not going to stick, okay?
Let them a nice clean bowl.
Just give me a minute. You can get, in the meantime, a measuring tablespoon. This is a good size. I use a cookie scoop. But you can really shape it by hand. You can use a measuring tablespoon or any size that you want to make it. 1 second. Rosie, is yours coming along?
It's not sticking together, so I think I need to add some milk. As I used fresh coconut, so I don't know if that's the issue.
We use 1 coconut.
No, fresh. I grated fresh.
But did you use 1?
I use the measurement you
So a
you said
pound.
one.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Don't add too much milk. Maybe just a tablespoon.
Okay.
It comes in very quickly. Okay. Again, I'm going to angle down. Jenna, are you with me?
Ready.
Okay. So I'm going to.
Mailbox. Check any mailbox, John.
Mom. Mom.
Okay, and you can put them in your hand. Put them on the cookie sheet. I'll show you that after. They don't need to be too far apart because they're not going to spread out. They're going to raise a little, but they don't need to be too far apart. So you can probably fit maybe 20, maybe an inch or half inch apart would be fine. Okay, so I just did a little scoop, rounded it in my hand, and then I just pressed it flat. Not too flat. Now, for me, this looks like I could have put more raisins. So you might want to increase, if you keep that recipe, increase the recipe to maybe 1.5 cups of raisins. Depends again on how you like it.
Kathryn, how much does this yield?
A lot. Maybe about 50, depending on the size.
You're not easy.
Yeah, but this doesn't have enough raisins, I could see. You see, I'm not accustomed measuring, so it was a little trial and error to actually put a recipe down. But you can eyeball it when you make it and make it to your taste.
Oh, you're flattening it as well, huh?
A little, just a little, not too flat, because you don't want it like a cookie. You want it sort of soft and nice.
Mommy.
Shh, Juliana. Hold on.
This is going to take about 22 to 24 minutes in the oven. But I have some baked that I'm going to show you. I would like to see how they come out though, but I don't know if I could keep you all on that long. Anybody have any questions at this point? Any questions?
No.
Kathryn, what temperature did you put the oven?
I put it on
My son
350.
asked.
350, Suzette, Fahrenheit. Right, so my tray is ready to go in. Smells really good. It's tempting to taste it raw, but of course there's a raw egg in there, but it smells really good. Okay, so this is what we look like. I have about 5 by 420 on the sheet and still a whole lot left in my bowl. So this may give me about 60 or so. Let's put this in the oven. Okay, and I've set my timer to 22 minutes. But of course I'm here, so if I smell it and they smell ready before, I'll just check on them. You want them to get to a nice golden color. These are what they're supposed to look like. Oops. Something like this. The fruit and the raisins, and it's sort of a soft inside. Now I made these, I found these were not fruity enough for my taste. So as I said, it's up to you. So, unless we want to wait for the next 20 minutes, so we could see how they come along, that's really it. When they come out, I take them out of the oven. I put them onto I leave them for a couple of minutes and then put them onto a wire rack to cool. And really, you can freeze them. You can put them in the fridge, and it's really easy and lovely with a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a nice little coffee morning, Christmassy, anything, afternoon tea. So Rosie, let me see, how are you going? It's come together. Let me see what
Oh gosh, can I tell you something? This with a hot cup of Arabic coffee is class at this hour.
Oh yeah, well, get ready. 20 minutes, that's all you have to wait.
I know, right? No, mine are already in the oven.
Oh, you put them in?
I put them in, I'm on my second batch.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, I have a big ahead of me.
So if it tastes good, I'm going to tell my husband, Kathryn Hadad. If it tastes bad, I'm going to say, honestly, Dominic, I don't know, I just found this recipe somewhere. I don't know where.
Nah, Peter will never say that.
No, I'm sure it's going to taste good. I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you a secret. Ronda's mother-in-law is the first one, I think, that I tried these from years ago.
That's right.
Now,
Yeah,
this
Peter
is my
Mansour mother is known for this.
This is sort of my variation to the recipe. It may be very similar to Rhonda's mother-in-law.
Yes.
But I started making these probably when I was in my teens. I think I had tasted them from Rhonda's sister-in-law, Maria, who has Maria's baby. Yeah, but I think, you know, everybody adds their little twist and their little personal touch. So similar, but probably a little different. I think I'm going to add a few more raisins to this, the rest of what I have in my bowl.
Okay.
Anyone who lives near me, I mean, y'all could feel free to come by and take a batch, because I don't know what I'll do with 50-something coconut drops.
It's a lot. Freeze them in between wax paper in a plastic container.
Yeah, I'll share with you. It looks like a
Christmas,
simple recipe.
Christmas might not be the year to go to many places, but, you know, take them out and send them for friends.
Yeah.
To school on Monday. Right, Suzette?
Jackie would love to taste those. And I would too, of course.
I'm sorry,
Miss
Jackie.
Julian, where you live, I'll drop it for you.
You have to go way to the east to get to me.
Oh, shucks. Actually, the east is not that far, by the way. I've been to the east 3 times for the week.
Yes, it has. Yeah, it's really fun for me.
Hi, Kathryn. Hi, Kathryn. I was just wondering if you have ever tried it with chocolate chips. Seen that kids like chocolate chips a lot. If you have a big batch, I'm just wondering if you ever tried it with that.
I never did. I don't know. I never did, but it could be interesting. If you try it, let me know. Swapna, are you cooking along? I hear you.
I'm not making these today, but I'm just making.
See what's going on. So they don't change much in the oven. It's not like cookies that are going to spread out, or they're not going to raise too much like a cake, although they do have quite a bit of baking powder, but they look just a little puffier than when you first put them in the oven. And what I find with these is that as they first come out, they're tasty, but if you give them a day, they somehow taste better. So if anyone wants to stay on to see how they come out, or if anyone wants to leave, that's fine too. thank you for joining us. Those who wish to stay on, those who are baking along, we can stay on and see what they look like.
You know,
Thank you.
this and the ginger beer could have been nice.
And if you have to leave, Merry Christmas, Joanna. Thank you for joining.
Bye. It looks like a great one. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you. If you make it, let us know how it comes out.
I will. And Jenna, you could drop some next door by your neighbor. Drop some for Auntie Jean and Mary Jo.
Hey, that's Mike's
okay,
mommy.
I will.
That's Mike's mom.
Yes, hello.
Oh,
He's hi, Azzy. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye, Joanna.
Bye.
You gone, madam?
Right, I'm here. But I know it's a long time to wait.
Yeah. So I'll let you know how it goes. It's
No,
fine.
because I still have a whole lot in my bowl. So I'm gonna be sipping for a little while.
If I'm making them a little thicker, because my scoop is kind of big, I'll just leave them in for a little bit longer.
Yeah, you can look and see. You want a nice golden color.
Okay, cool. I'll
Once
send you pictures and I shall tag you.
the important thing is that you make, if they're on the same cookie sheet, that try to make them all the same size so that they bake evenly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah?
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Bye.
I want to see a picture. Send it for me.
I will.
Bring it
Bye.
to her. Rhonda, I want to see Jenna's when they come out, huh?
Yeah, Kathryn,
Right.
yeah, we'll definitely, I think we have about 14 minutes left.
Yeah.
Right, so do I.
Okay.
Yeah, so as soon as I am.
Some extra raisins. Miss Cummings, if you would like to leave us, and Danielle, I don't want to bore you all. Thank you all for being here.
I am actually enjoying right now. I'd like to see what it looks like at the end. It looks delicious. And looks like something I will try for my kids a little later this weekend.
My boys really like them.
Oh.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that kids would, but somehow the fruits and the raisins, my boys have enjoyed them since they were small.
Yeah, I have older kids home too, so the smaller ones wouldn't, but the bigger ones will.
Grab some more raisins, because this is bugging me. They need some more raisins. So change your recipes. About a cup and a half.
Wait.
But Miss Cummings, if you're in school on Monday, I could drop some for you. Will you be there?
Of course, yes, I will be there on Monday, and thank you very much. I would love to taste your delicious cookies.
Sure. Danielle, will you be there? I'm seeing Danielle's screen, but I don't know if she's there.
I'm not sure. I think she had something at 5:30 to attend to, so yeah.
I think she'll be there on Monday as well. Most people
Yeah.
are in
On Mondays, yeah.
I could send a few little plates with the number I have here. I have about 10 minutes left on mine, Jenna. How about you? Actually, the way they look, they may be less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Kathryn, my house smells divine, and I still have
Yes.
a whole 13 minutes to go.
Well, look at them, eh? After about 5 minutes, look at them. Sometimes you may need to reduce your oven to 325 if you find it's browning too quickly. Because
Okay, I didn't hear the part about, is it supposed to be a crunchy or a chewy bite?
look, it's soft. It's
Yeah,
soft. It's not crunchy.
yeah.
It's soft.
Okay, I'm gonna check. Let me go and just peep at it because I haven't peeped since I put it in. Of all these.
What?
Yeah.
Can you smell them? They're ready.
5 minutes left. Bring it out now. Let's try. Let's see if we could.
Oh,
yum.
You see, they're golden. So I put mine for 22 minutes, but really it's 19 minutes and they're ready. So I'm gonna just flip one up just to look at the bottom to make sure that the bottom has a nice color before I leave them up. Yeah, so that's perfect, right? And as I said, they slide really easily. I normally would leave them on here to firm up for maybe a minute or 2 or 5, it doesn't matter. It's a very forgiving recipe. And they just come off really easily. But I prefer more raisins, so the second set. So they feel really soft now, but don't eat them right away. Give them a little while to firm up and to cool. They don't really taste the best when they're warm. I find they taste better when they cool off. So that's it.
Yeah. Hold on.
Next training.
Jana, those look like they turned out nice.
Yeah, they did. Hold on now.
No. 1 sec. Let me see them.
Hold on now. Hold on. Just using Rhonda's phone now. Let me just kind of turn this around. Right.
Oh my goodness. Hold it up. Let me see. Hold one up.
Look at it.
But it's
But you don't want more color on top?
yeah.
Let me see. A little bit, maybe a minute or
I
2.
think just a minute, but all of them look very cooked underneath, huh?
Well, I baked in the middle. Which else?
Hold on a second. Aziz, everybody doesn't need to know we want puppies. Calm down.
Can we get puppies?
Yeah.
You want puppies too, Aziz? Send some from 60 Galaxy Park.
You really are
So Kathryn, put it in for a little 5 again. It has 4 minutes left.
No, not 5. Maybe a minute. But the bottom is brown enough. So
right.
If you want a little color on the top, you could maybe put it on a higher shelf.
Right.
But give it a minute, really, not longer, because it happens quickly.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, you don't want it brown, just a nice golden color.
Yeah, I think the
Pour it on top. 1 minute. Okay,
Don't broil it, you know.
Oh, don't broil it.
No.
wait.
She said, don't spoil it.
Don't
Don't
broil
put
it.
it in for too long.
Wait, she said, wait, don't spoil it, don't broil it. Let me hear.
Then you're gonna have charred, smoky coconut drops.
All right, so we just put it back in for 1 minute. Let's just
Put it back in for 1 minute. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Where were my rainbows?
Right.
Now what happens is I use insulated cookie sheets, so the bottoms of mine probably don't get as brown. So maybe you could reduce your oven to 325 to prevent that from happening, so the bottom doesn't get too brown. I use these cookie sheets because I bake a lot, so these are insulated, and they're insulated for that reason, to prevent the bottoms of your cookies from getting too brown before the tops are cooked. So. And the same dog who ate the chocolate is eyeing down the coconut drops on the counter. Your recipe.
Yes, Natasha and Ricia, thank you so much, guys.
Merry Christmas. I'm going to send some to you all on Monday.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, Suzette.
Bye. Take care. Thank you very much, all. It was fun.
Bye, everyone. See you all next
Bye.
week. Kathryn, I put it in for the minute and it got a little color on top, which is good.
Perfect.
Bye, Nikita.